And we're back with Spider-Man, the animated series, this time Season 1, Episode 12. Penultimate episode of this season, and also Part 2 of the Hobgoblin storyline. So, yeah, like I just said, we got introduced to Hobgoblin last episode. Never saw his face, we don't know who's behind the mask, but he was working for Norman Osborn to try and take out Kingpin. So, Osborn is making a move on Fisk. But then when Hobgoblin didn't get the job done the first time, Osborn fired him, and then Hobgoblin went running over to Kingpin, who has now hired Hobgoblin to, I guess, take out Norman Osborn. So, but now Hobgoblin is saying that he wants to go back with Osborn, and I don't know, I can't tell which side this guy is on. Like, he says he's trying to side with Osborn, but is that just a secret deal he made off screen with Fisk? But either way, when Hobgoblin was talking to Osborn, he had a little bit of a spy on the wall, a little bit of a fly on the wall in the name of Alistair Smythe. So, yeah, earlier, during last episode, Fisk told Smythe how he wanted about his intention to possibly take Hobgoblin on as a successor or as an apprentice, and I imagine Smythe is not happy about that, considering he's been by Kingpin's side for pretty much this whole series. So I think he was envisioning himself in that role. So I just don't know. Is Kingpin in on this whole thing with Hobgoblin trying to get back with Osborn, or is this Hobgoblin actually trying to go against Kingpin? Because I really can't tell. But either way, obviously there was also Spider-Man last episode. This is also his show. It wasn't just about Hobgoblin. But yeah, he's moved in with Harry now. He's moved in with Harry Osborn in the city, so getting to and from the city with his web slinging is going to be a lot easier now. I mean, it's never been a problem so far, at least not that we've seen. But yeah, Hobgoblin has kidnapped Harry Osborn and taken him to Fisk. So yeah, and also at the end of last episode, Hobgoblin got himself a new glider, which has left. Last time we saw Spider-Man, he just web slung into this building, and then these bombs followed him in from Hobgoblin's new glider, and the building blew up. But we obviously know Spider-Man's not going to die in his own show, especially not in Season 1. So yeah, let's just see how he survived this, and let's just see how this storyline plays out. So let's just get into Season 1, Episode 12 of Spider-Man the Animated Series, starting right now!
Where are those skyscrapers when you need them? Can't get airborne.
Oh.
Where's he getting this stuff? I've heard of countries with small arsenals.
Jeez! Relentless!
You're not as smart as these smart ones.
Yep. Oh no. Here comes the water. Yep.
What did the Hobgoblin want from you? You can't just come in here and... Why was he here? Don't tell me you made a deal with him. You trusted the Hobgoblin? I had to. I could lose it all. My company, my inventions, everything. What about your son? I said everything. Look, you, don't judge me. This'll all be over by midnight. Midnight, huh? Then you can expect to see me 1 minute after. Just to make sure.
Don't sit in the chair. Nope.
Yeah. Comfortable? I see you have a fondness for the trappings of power.
Get Fisk together. That? I was just getting what I could for myself, Fisk.
You are terminated.
No!
Never want to see you again.
Ooh. Okay.
Another of Osborn's toys, no doubt.
Hey! How big is this place that you can just fly that thing around? He's gonna bring the building down.
I finally got it. It's mine now. All mine.
I don't believe that Kingpin just ran away.
Now that I've got the Kingpin's empire, I want Oscorp too. All of it. Not just your invention.
Oh,
This town has a new Kingpin, Osborn, and it's me! You filthy, rotten, lying.
I believe the word you're searching for is traitor. I
ho,
reckon
ho, ho.
there's a secret tunnel that leads back to my headquarters. All we need from you is a weapon that can stand up to that wing.
A weapon? I just might have something. Or perhaps I should say, someone.
Spider-Man. They're gonna use Spider-Man as the way to get back at him.
We both want the Hobgoblin, don't we? Oh, I want him all right.
He's on his way. Brilliant strategy. Using one of our enemies to fight the other. This should be quite a show.
Well, nowhere to go now but up.
Yep, here we go.
Spider-Man?
Nope.
How about a kickstart?
What the hell was that?
Get out here! Face me!
Woo!
What you wish for?
This is mad. This building is gonna come down.
I lost everything! You've still got your life for the moment.
Oh.
Where's Harry Osborn? You want him? You got it! Catch that, Warcrawler!
He's not gonna be in there, is he? Yeah, he is.
Let's go before this place collapses! Spider-Man and Osborn are in the elevator.
The web slinger must not be allowed to escape.
Can this thing go any faster?
Yep. Yep.
I had to ask.
Tower of Terror.
Easily worth the price of an elevator.
Yep.
What do you say, Spy?
Next time we'll take the stairs. As soon as I get you out of here, Osborn.
Are they gonna blow the
Go
tunnel?
back down this tunnel and find out where we just came from.
Oh, there goes all the evidence. Yo, Kingpin's mad at covering his tracks. I'll give him that.
We're going to rebuild it bigger and better than before. The main thing is, it's mine again.
You think I don't care about Harry? The fact is I do. But my work was all consuming. Never being there when he was sick and needed me. But none of that meant I didn't care about him. It was just a matter of making choices. I made the wrong ones.
More sincerity than I've seen from Norman Osborn.
It's payback time.
Oh.
Harry!
Oh!
Osborn! You okay? Dad?
Oh.
We're okay. I guess he finally made the right choice.
He's back. He should not have come back. He should have just left. Ugh.
That was for Aunt May.
Oh, into the river.
I had to take care of something. More important than this? That's what's wrong with you kids today. You can't seem to make the right choices. Aunt May. Oh, we were so worried about you.
Oh, it was such a shock.
Don't worry. The Hobgoblin's gone now.
The Hobgoblin. It was your apartment, dear. I've never seen such a mess. don't think you're ready to live on your own yet.
I think you're right.
Well, you saved that nice Mr. Fisk's life. You did the right thing. Uncle Ben would have been very proud.
Don't forget me, Spider-Man. I'm not going to forget you.
Okay. Oh, you know what? You know what I've been thinking. Jay, the only two people who've been in every single episode so far up until this one was Spider-Man and J. Jonah Jameson. But that changed this episode. JJ was not here at all. So, yeah, I guess Spider-Man's the only reoccurring character. Well, Spider-Man's the only character in this show to be in every episode, at least so far. But then again, I don't really see a Spider-Man series with a whole episode without Spider-Man. So I only wrote down one thing for this episode, and it was that Kingpin ran. But that's not the case. I mean, he did, but this was an insanely... I mean, the problem I've had recently with the Ben 10 episodes is it feels like we build and build and build to the plot of an episode. We have it, and then it finishes like it within a minute. It's like the pacing is off in the episodes. So yeah, it just feels like we wrap things up very quickly and then we're just done. This one, these episodes, they feel like they go on for quite a bit. Like after the whole tunnel explosion when Spider-Man and Harry escaped Fisk's tower and then the thing blew up, I thought that was going to be the end of the episode. But then no, it just kept going. So yeah, it turns out that Kingpin wasn't in on the whole plot of Hobgoblin joining back up with Osborn. The whole thing with Spider-Man being in the building that blew up at the beginning, that was solved very quickly. And once again, something that sometimes bothers me in Spider-Man things, when he seems to like, you know, in Spider-Man like films and series and stuff, when he seems to swing off nothing, like he just fires his web off into the air and he just starts swinging from it, but you never see what it attaches to. That was kind of talked about in this episode when he said when he was looking around there was no tall buildings and he couldn't get high enough to get Hobgoblin. I just love that they had that little detail in. Like they could have just, with the physics in this show, they could have just have him swing off and be swinging off nothing and it wouldn't have mattered because you just have him swinging off something that's not on screen. But this, they actually made a point of like, if there's no tall buildings, he can't get high enough to reach someone who's flying. So, and Hobgoblin was relentless with his attacks as well, like just those razor disc things, the smart bombs, the pumpkin bombs. It was just all going off. It was non-stop. Like Spider-Man had no choice but to hide and let Hobgoblin think that he was dead, so that Hobgoblin would leave. Like he had no choice. Yeah, Spider-Man went back to Oscorp then. I love that he's slowly unraveling the mystery. So now that he knows that Norman is involved in something shady. Because last episode when he found Hobgoblin at the end of the episode, he knew he came from Oscorp. He found him at Oscorp, so he knows that Norman is involved in some way. And that's when Norman says that don't worry, everything's going to be fixed, everything's going to be solved by midnight, and Spider-Man just lets it go. He doesn't investigate it at all. Instead he goes to Aunt May. And Spider-Man, the personal vendetta that Spider-Man has for the Hobgoblin in this episode, I think that's the most personal Spider-Man has ever got with a villain. Like he's never got to the point where he's like willing to kill them. Well, I mean, yes, when he had the black suit on, he was getting close to doing it with Rhino and Shocker. but it was never like a personal thing, it was just the suit making him angry. But this one, Peter is not under the influence of the black suit, but he genuinely wants to hurt Hobgoblin here because of what happened to Aunt May. But yeah, he just doesn't investigate whatsoever, he doesn't try looking into it. With the whole business with Hobgoblin and Norman, he just lets it play out. Like, there wasn't a lot of Spider-Man in this episode. It genuinely felt like the main characters, like Hobgoblin, Fisk, and Norman Osborn, they felt like the main characters of this episode. It definitely felt like Spider-Man took a back seat, at least for most of it. Hobgoblin goes back to Fisk's headquarters, and that's when shit starts to go down. Shit went down in this episode with Hobgoblin. He got caught in Fisk's seat, and he was exposed. Fisk revealed that he knew about the attempted deception, and yeah, Hobgoblin just can't seem to keep his job. He keeps pissing off his bosses. He cannot be trusted. But yeah, Hobgoblin wasn't leaving. Hobgoblin refuses to leave. He just started raining hell down in that massive... Honestly, how big is that building? Like, the building must be completely hollow for the amount of damage he was doing, and for that building just not to topple down. That building took abuse in this episode. I am surprised it did not collapse. But yeah, once again, there was a lot of Hobgoblin raining carnage in this episode. No pun intended, because carnage wasn't in this episode, but you know what I mean. He was raining hell down on everyone in this episode. It forced Kingpin and Smythe to abandon their fortress. They abandoned the base of operations, trying to tell you that maybe Hobgoblin had killed them, but obviously we know that's not true. So yeah, he forced Kingpin to abandon his criminal empire, and for a minute Hobgoblin had taken over. Hobgoblin actually took over Kingpin's empire. So that's mad that Hobgoblin was able to do that. That's not enough. That's not enough. He's taken over the biggest criminal empire, at least in the... This episode makes it seem like Kingpin's criminal empire expands to the whole world. But it's not enough. He wants Oscorp as well, and he's using Harry to extort from Norman Osborn. He's literally said, "I'll work with you to take down Fisk." Okay, now I've taken down Fisk, now I want your stuff as well. He is just the ultimate fucking leech. But Norman finds himself an unlikely ally in the two very different forms of Alistair Smythe and Kingpin. Kingpin goes to Norman Osborn to get help in defeating Hobgoblin. It's mad because these two were at each other's throats last episode, and it makes Hobgoblin seem like a big threat because it forces these two to work together. They were at each other's throats last episode, and Hobgoblin is forcing them to work together. So Kingpin offers a way in, and he said, "Okay, now we offer the way in. Now you need to provide something that can go up against Hobgoblin." And Norman, with his IQ plays, he uses Spider-Man, he uses Peter and his vendetta against Hobgoblin to try and get them to fight one another. Well, he does get them to fight one another. So it's just a win-win for Osborn and Kingpin. Like they said, they get to watch their two enemies fight each other. Like, if one of them dies, great. If both of them kill each other, that's even better. But yeah, very, very, very intelligent moves by Kingpin and Osborn in this episode. Where Osborn just reveals the secret tunnel that Kingpin has set up to Spider-Man, and Spider-Man goes darting off. He just goes straight to Kingpin's headquarters and starts fighting against Hobgoblin. Honestly, you know what? Once again, an awesome fight as well. Eventually Hobgoblin is able to escape, and Spider-Man takes Harry, and they escape back through the entrance, the secret tunnel that Spider-Man came from, and he said, as soon as I've dropped you off, I'm going to go back there and I'm going to find out where I am. I'm just looking at this building that Hobgoblin is in, the office that Kingpin owns. It is so clear. What is it? It's not. Is it the Baxter Building? I think it's the Baxter Building. But you know what I mean. It's not the Empire State, but you can just clearly tell, like, the outside of the building and the inside of the building look just exactly the same. So you should have known where you are, bro. If you're web slinging around New York all the time, every day, you should recognise this building. The interior. There's no difference between the outside and the inside of the building. They look exactly the same. So you should know. But once again, 90s cartoon. 90s kids cartoon, what are you going to do? So, yeah, then Kingpin and Smythe, they blow up the secret tunnel, making it impossible, I assume, to find your way back to it, making it inaccessible. Once again, Kingpin is incredible at covering his tracks, although maybe we'll talk about something in a minute. But yeah, he just covered his tracks so well. I'm so surprised that they managed to keep Kingpin and Spider-Man separated all this whole time, considering all the stuff Kingpin's been involved in as well, with the Spider Slayers, the Prometheum X, now this. Yeah, so Kingpin's covered his tracks, and then Spider-Man takes Harry back to Oscorp. And then you get a tender moment from Norman Osborn, which you don't usually get. Normally Osborn's just this cruel bastard. But you actually got to see how he feels in this one. When he's talking about how he's not been a great father for Harry, but he's always loved him, he's always cared about his son. And then talk is cheap, but actions speak louder than words, and it showed here when Hobgoblin, like, seriously, I thought this episode was going to end when that tunnel blew up. Like, after Spider-Man took Harry back through that tunnel, it blew up, and Kingpin covered his tracks. I thought that was going to be the end of the episode. I thought that was it. But no, it kept going. So then you got that moment then you got that conversation with Osborn, and then Hobgoblin shows up once again trying to get revenge on Osborn and Spider-Man as well. I mean, he didn't know Spider-Man was there, but let's get revenge on Osborn. And a piece of falling debris nearly hits Harry, but then Norman dives over him. He protects his son with his life. Like, well, he would have died. I mean, it would have killed Harry as well, because it's a big piece of equipment that was about to fall on them. But he covered his son with his own body to save him. Such a selfless act from Norman Osborn. Obviously, Spider-Man saves them both, but Norman was ready to sacrifice his life to protect Harry. So, yeah, just leaves Harry and Norman together, and he goes after Hobgoblin. Once again, how many times did they... They went up against each other 3 times in this episode. But this time, Hobgoblin, I mean, he kind of did escape, but he didn't get away scot-free. This one, Spider-Man finally was able to... I mean, Spider-Man couldn't outmaneuver him, but this time Spider-Man was able to outwit him, should we say. Able to damage the glider, and Hobgoblin went crashing into the river. So, he's not dead, and he's not been captured. He's going to come back. It even showed it at the end. Hobgoblin is going to come back, obviously. He's not been arrested. We still don't know his identity either. I'm surprised they kept his identity a secret. I thought they were going to take that mask off, but no, they didn't. So, it's good that they are not just blowing their entire load with Hobgoblin in these 2 episodes. They're leaving room for more stuff later on. They're not just giving you a villain, unmasking him, sending him to prison. They're not doing that. They're leaving it open with Hobgoblin. Because, honestly, the stuff with Venom, even though it was incredibly awesome, and it's the best arc of this season, obviously, the best 3 episodes of this season, it does feel like they've shut the door on him. I'm pretty sure Venom is coming back, but it does feel like they've shut the door on him. Like they gave him to us. They gave Venom to us. They gave us a story, and then they got rid of him. And it felt like an open and close on the Venom story, even though he might come back. But this one, they're still leaving Hobgoblin open to coming back again. And then, guess what? Peter goes back to the hospital, and the doctor gives him the 3rd degree. About, I mean, granted he kind of deserved it, but he did have to fight against. This is the problem with Spider-Man. Like, he's got responsibilities as, like, he's got obligations as Spider-Man and as Peter Parker. And when he's living a double life, he's living a double life. He can't do both. So if he's away stopping crime, he's not there with Aunt May. If he's there with Aunt May, he's not stopping crime, and that's the dilemma he lives with. And the doctor gave him the 3rd degree, like saying, seriously, is there anything more important than your aunt? I mean, you even said so yourself, Doctor. Like, there's been no change whatsoever. So it's not like he missed anything. I mean, yes, he should have been there, but it's not like the doctor said nothing was changing. And then seconds later she woke up. So something changed as soon as Peter got back. I would be so frustrated if I was Peter. Like, people getting on my case saying you're being like a bad nephew or like getting on your case for not being there when you've literally just been risking your life to save people's lives and stop criminals. I would get so pissed. I would not be able to contain myself. I would expose myself as a fucking serial killer and say, yeah, fucking talk to me now. Give me shit now after I'm out there risking life. Yeah, I would not be able to do it. I would be like, fuck you lot. I would either expose my identity or quit being Spider-Man. I would like, no, I'm getting the 3rd degree for going out saving someone's life. Guess what? I'm not going to be saving someone's life. Talk shit to me now. Or I'd expose myself and fucking snap their legs. Yeah? You wanna, like, crush your fucking windpipe? You're gonna talk shit now, are you? Yeah, no, it's not happening. But then Aunt May wakes up, and we thought we were moving somewhere. We literally thought we were moving somewhere. Peter thought he was going to move into a bachelor's pad with Harry. We thought Mary Jane was going to be moving in with Aunt May, but neither is happening now. Peter's staying with Aunt May. Mary Jane's not moving in. Okay, fair enough. I mean, best scenario to come out of this would have been you don't move out of Aunt May's house, but Mary Jane still moves in. That would have been a good move, but guess not. Guess that's not happening. Yes, this was a very good episode. Where would I rank this? Let me go to the last episode that I made and see where I ranked this. Because for some reason I don't have it written down, and I really should. Did I write it down? Let's see. I've only written down episodes 1 to 5. I need to write these down. Okay, so it was 4. This last episode was 4th. You know what? The Symbiote trilogy still takes the cake for this season. And episode 11, the last episode, was just below it. I think this episode was amazing because Kingpin and Oswald were forced to work together. A couple of awesome fights between Spider-Man and Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin took over Kingpin's empire for a minute. Oh, once again, Peter may be closing in. Peter may be closing in on Fisk, because Aunt May mentioned like you jumped in to save Fisk's life, and then Spider-Man was thinking like Kingpin. Hobgoblin was after Fisk for a reason, and now I wonder if he's going to start honing in on Fisk a bit, thinking like, what is Fisk up to? So we'll see if Peter can figure it out. But yeah, back to the ranking. This episode will be better than the last one, but it's still below the Symbiote trilogy. So this takes the new 4th place. So as it stands, from worst to best, we go 7, Craven episode, 4, 1, 6, 5, 2, 3, 11, 12, 8, 9, 10. So the symbiotes still take this The symbiotes still reign supreme in this season. But you know what? We've only got 1 episode left of this season. Can it perform a miracle and outclass the symbiotes? I sincerely doubt it, but we'll see if it can top this. We'll see if it can top this episode. Maybe it won't, maybe it will. But we only have 1 episode left of this season, and I might just start recording it tomorrow. It's 1 AM right now. Technically today. I'm going to record it today, but it's 1 AM right now. I want to go to bed. So, yeah, that's all we've got for this week of Spider-Man the Animated Series. Until next time, we are over and out. Bye!